we use the microwave frequency, these are all line of sight, meaning to say, kumbaga, may direct link or may direct sight in between these two transmitting and receiving uh, uh, system na meron tayo. Okay? So also, microwave system do not require the right of reacquisition and fewer repeaters are needed in order for us to transmit our signal, and underground facilities are minimized and increase reliability and less maintenance. Other than that, we also talk about the frequencies and the procedures or selection procedures that we need in order for us to build a microwave communication system. Okay. Also, we talk about the different paths that we have, the line of sight, the grazing path, and the obstructed path. Okay. Now, before we go on to the discussion, can anyone tell me what is a K curve na tinatawag? What is a K curve? K factor na tinatawag. Anyone? Mr. Ramos, can you tell me what is a K
Ano
curve?
po, sir? Ano po sabi niya?
What do you mean by a K curve or K factor?
K ano, sir? Ano yan? Hindi ko, sir, maintindihan.
K
Putol-putol po sa akin.
factor, K
Ay,
factor, or K curve. A K
K, fac-
curve is, what is
K,
that?
K factor po.
Oo, K curve, K factor ng ating ano. So when we talk about the K curve or the K factor, it is a numerical figure that consider the non-ideal condition of the atmosphere resulting at atmospheric refraction that causes the
Okay.
ray beam to be bent towards the Earth or away from Earth. Diba yung K curve na sinasabi? As we
Sir,
all
sir,
know,
excuse me po. Naka-share
yes,
screen po ba kayo?
hindi. This is only ang ano pa lang.
Okay. Akala ko wala.
Ano lang ito, Bunso? What do you call this one? This is just a review of
Okay.
the lesson last week. So kaya ko binabanggit uli. Eh, mukhang parang hindi niyo yata naintindihan kung ano man yung lesson last week.
Sorry po. Thank you.
Anyway, so sinasabi natin, o sige, balikan muna natin ng konti before we go to that ano. Okay. So let me see here. Let me share first the K. So yung K factor or K curve, kasi di ba ito yung signal natin. So when we do that one, whenever we transmit our signal, sabi ko sa inyo, dapat ito ay line of sight. Line of sight. So but because of the atmospheric condition that we have in the ionosphere, so merong may pressure na ginagawa doon sa ionosphere, nagkakaroon to ng epekto, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na K curve or K factor. So normally, when we want our signal to be as flat as it could be, for example, this one as flat as it could be, K must be infinity. Okay, K must be infinity. Tandaan nyo ha, K must be infinity. But if your K or a subcondition, in a subcondition, ang nangyayari, ang K natin is less than 1, ayan na, less than 1, ang nangyayari, ito ay nagbe-bend away from Earth. So bend away. So K is less, if your K is less than 1, your signal or your information or your signal will be bending away from Earth. Okay? If you have a standard condition, ito yung pinakamagandang condition that we have other than K is to 4, K is to infinity. We have here K is to 4 over third. So ang nangyayari natin, this is the standard condition where in this condition, this fictitious Earth radius appears to be microwave beam to be longer than the Earth's radius. So ito yung pinakamagandang condition natin, K is to 4/3. And if you're greater than 4/3, this condition result to effective flattening of equivalent Earth's curvature. So ibig sabihin, almost flat na yung Earth natin. So sabi ko nga sa inyo noon before, your Earth is a sphere, kaya hindi po tayo flat. So nagkakaroon ito ng bulges. So whatever we do, so yung effect ng K curve natin na tinatawag ay umi-epekto doon sa signal natin. Okay? So let's move. Let's start within our discussion. I think this is the last part of our discussion last time. Okay. Okay, I think that is the last discussion. Let's stop this one and we move to the discussion. Okay, so here. Okay, so we have here. Okay, so we all know that the Earth is spherical. So, yan. So normally, we have here what we call the Earth bulge. Tinatawag. Yung Earth bulge, it is the number of feet or meters an obstacle is raised higher than the elevation into the path owing to the Earth's curvature or Earth bulge na tinatawag. So kung aanuhin natin yan, titingnan nyo yung mabuti, yung mundo, this is not, okay. So normally, yung Earth, in theory, yung Earth dapat ay flat, di ba? So yung signal, flat din ang nangyayari. Ganyan. Nakakarating from transmitter going to your receiver end. So ganyan yung nangyayari. Pero sa tunay na buhay, hindi ganyan. Meron tayong tinatawag na earth bulge na tinatawag. So ibig sabihin, yung earth, parang nandito ka sa kabilang dulo. Ito yung unang transmitter mo. Ito yung receiver end mo. So meron tayong tinatawag na pag-umbok ng earth sa in-between. So kung meron nga kayo ditong what do you call this one? If you have a obstruction here at the middle, so gaano kataas yung obstruction na to plus the earth bulge para masabi mo na hindi tatamaan ng ating signal yung ating obstruction na yon. So dito natin inaano yung earth bulge na sinasabi. It is the number of feet or meters an obstacle is raised higher in elevation onto the path owing to Earth's curvature to the Earth bulge. So normally, so Earth bulge in feet, dalawang ano tayo, we have two different formulas. So if you're going to use feet as your unit, so we have D1, multiply it by D2 all over 1.5. Wait lang, mayroong nag-ano. Wait lang, may pumasok ah. Okay. So let me go back. Okay. So sabi ko kanina, we have two different formulas for earth bulge. We have one in feet and the other one is in meter. So we have day 1, multiply it by your D2 in miles. This is in miles, all over 1.5. Sir, saan po yung D1 at saka D2? For example, you have here the transmitter and the receiver's towers that you have, and then you have here an obstruction, a certain obstruction. So ito yung magiging D1 mo at ito yung magiging D2 natin. So ano yung distance mo in between your tower going to the and the other one, ano yung distance mo dun sa receiver end na tinatawag natin. So you have two different formulas. For meters naman, if you're going to use the unit of meters here, D1 here in kilometers, multiply it the distance to in kilometers all over 12.75. Okay, so let's have here. So let's calculate the Earth's bulge in 2 meters, 10 2 miles, 10 miles, and 22 miles away from transmitter for a 25 miles terrestrial microwave. So ganito daw yon mga anak. So you have here, if this is your tower, and this is the other tower here, we have the full distance of what? What is this? The full distance? Guys, what is the full distance that we have?
25.
25 what? Don't forget the unit
Miles
because
po.
we have different units, okay? So if we have 25 miles here as the full distance of your transmitter and receiving tower, so the first one we have an obstruction at 2 miles away. So 2 miles dito, so meron kang 2 miles here. So another obstruction at 10 miles and another obstruction at 22 miles. O, this is just ano ha, hindi to accurate ano anak. So what are we going to use? What formula are we going to use? Are we going to use the over 1.5 or are we going to use the other one?
1.5 po.
Okay, so we're going to use the 1.5 over 1.5 because we have miles as your reference. Here, you're going to use 12.75 if you have a kilometer unit. So let's move back. So first thing first, so earth bulge in miles, earth bulge in feet, is equals to D1 over D2 in miles, all over 1.5. So paano natin isusulat yan? So the first one is what? 2, 2 miles. Yung isa, 25 minus 2. Sir, saan nakuha yung 25? So you have the what? You have the full distance of 25 minus the obstruction here at 2 miles from the transmitter. So what's the difference between 25 and 2 miles? So that will be your second distance. Are we good? So 1.5 again, what we have here? Anyone? What's the answer? Meron po bang nakakaalam ng sagot?
30.67 po.
30.67. Oh, anong ano nito? 30.67 what?
Miles po.
Miles. Are you sure?
Feet po.
Feet. Okay.
Sorry.
30.67 feet. Normally, we have at least 2 decimal places, mga anak ha, pag ano. So, this will be on feet. So, the other one, if we have 10 miles, so we have 10, 25 minus 10, all over 1.5. Miss Madulit, what's the answer? Miss Madulid, what's the answer here?
Sir, wait lang po. Nawalan po ng net eh. Kakakonect ko lang po ulit.
Okay, how about Miss Fernandez? What's the answer here? Can you please bring your calculator, everyone? I want to every time that we have a lecture in microwave communication, make sure that you have your calculator because most of our discussion will be in problem solving. Okay?
Sir, 100 po.
100. Are you sure of that? 100 what?
Feet po.
100 feet. So, tingnan natin. 100 feet. Mamaya, tingnan natin kung tama yung sagot nyo. And the other one here is, so we have 22. Multiply it by 25 minus 22 all over 1.5. Mr. Reyes, can you please give me the answer here? Mr. Reyes?
Sa akin, 44 po, sir.
Ha?
44 feet po.
44 feet. So, yun yung 44 feet. Okay. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, anong ibig sabihin nun? Tama po ba daw to? Check ko lang ha. Check natin. Stop muna tayo. Stop sharing. Tingnan natin kung tama yung sagot niyo. Okay. So, admit ko lang tong isa. Okay. So, the answers are, we have 30.67, 100 feet, and 44 feet. So, tama po yung ating, yung mga binigay niyong sagot. So anong ibig sabihin nun? Anyone? Prismatic, ano ibig sabihin ng mga binigay nating, ano na yon? Binigay nating, tawag dito, sukat. Ano ibig sabihin daw ng sukat na yon pag may ganon? Ano ibig sabihin nung sa ano na to, in 2 miles, meron kang 30.67 feet. Doon sa 10 miles, meron kang 10 feet. At saka doon sa meron kang 44 feet. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Anyone?
Obstruction, sir.
Are you sure that is an obstruction? What are we talking about? Ano bang pinag-uusapan natin dito? Is it the obstruction or the bulging of the earth on that area?
Yung bulge po.
Yung bulge. Sino nagsabi nun?
Miles po.
Okay, Miss Madulid. So ano ibig sabihin ng bulging ng earth? So, ibig sabihin, since hindi flat yung Earth natin, we have the parang curve, naka-curve siya. So, ano ibig sabihin nun, Miss Madulid? Sa 2 miles, meron kang
Meron pong bulge na 30.6 feet.
So, tama yon. So, ibig sabihin, at 2 miles dito sa transmitter na to, meron kang bulging ng Earth na 30.67. So, dapat lumagpas doon yung height ng antena mo. Kasi kung hindi, ano mangyayari? Pwedeng magkaroon dito ng obstruction. Hindi magkikita or magkakaroon ng line of sight yung signal mo. Ganun din po, dito sa 10 miles, you have at least 100 feet na bulge. And the lastly is 44 feet dun sa 22 miles. Are we good? Naintindihan nyo kung ano ibig sabihin ng earth bulging? Yes or no?
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po, sir.
So let's move on to the next. We have your effective earth bulge. Ano naman po daw yung effective earth bulge? Dito, kina-consider na natin sa effective earth bulge yung alin? Yung K-factor. Ano yung K-factor? Yung K-curve, yung atmospheric condition. So, para masabi natin na tama yung magiging curvature ng earth pag yung height ng ano natin, curvature. Kung i-consider na natin, isasama na natin sa consideration yung K-curve na sinasabi. So, what do you call this one? Pag ito ko, nakikita nyo pa rin? Yes or
Hindi
no?
pa po. Wala po, sir, nakikita.
Ay, wala kayo nakikita?
Ngayon lang po nawala, sir, nung pong next presentation.
Ay, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, let's share this again. Okay. So, okay. So, nakikita na to?
Opo, sir.
Effective earth bulge. So, ang pinag-uusapan natin sa effective earth bulge is the earth bulge itself together with the K-curve. So, ito na yung tinatawag nating earth curvature. So, sa earth curvature na sinasabi natin, we have here the formula of earth bulge, just multiplying the K-curve that we have. So, we're good with that. So, can you please calculate the effective height of a 100-foot obstruction situated 10 miles from the receiving end of a 25 miles radio link for the following values of K? A, 4:3, B, 1/2, and C, 5/2. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? So, the thing is this. So, you have your, let's have your, where is my, okay. So, you have here your transmitter, and then another here is your receiver. So, this is the, ano. So, what is the total distance that we have? Anyone? Anyone?
25 miles po, sir.
25 miles. Okay. So we have here 25 miles. Okay. So we have here 25 miles. Ngayon, ang sagot. Ang tanong, asan yung obstruction mo? Asan yung obstruction mo?
Maglalagay po, sir, ng 100 feet
100 feet na obstruction, saan?
sa gitna po.
Maglalagay ako ng 100 feet. So, sa app transmitter ko, may 100 feet ako dito. Ito yung obstruction ko. Yes or no?
Sa gitna po? Or kahit sa... Yes po.
Nandito sa 100 feet. Tama po ba ako? Sabi ni Mr. Reyes, nasa 100 feet daw yung obstruction ko. Tama po ba?
Sir,
10 miles po.
10 miles. Sino
Nasa
yung
10 miles yung 100 feet.
Ano? Paulit nga, Mr.
Nasa 10.
Feliciano. Mr. Feliciano,
Ay, yung 100 feet po, yung obstruction na 100 feet, nakalagay 10 miles from receiving end po.
so 10 miles from the receiving end. So from here is your receiving end, nandito yung 10 miles. Oh, so 10 miles to. So, ano yung 100 feet?
Yung yung height ng ano po, obstruct.
Tama. So, this is the 100 feet. Hindi po yun yung ano natin. Anak, pag nag-a-analyze ng problem, dapat isa-isa, ano? Hindi po pwede kayong ano-ano lang. So, make sure to analyze everything first before doing your ano. So, if you got this one, what will happen? So, ano daw yung ibig sabihin nun? So we have here the since we have the unit of miles here, so we're going to use what? What are we going to use? Anyone?
Yung
What
1.5.
formula? Yung 1.5, 12.75.
1.5 po.
1.5. So we're going to use the formula that is EB. So EB is equals to, in feet again, is equals to D1 miles over D2 in miles all over 1.5 K. So on this, so we have here, what are we going to do? So at K is equals to what? 4 over 3. So gagamit muna tayo ng 4 over 3. So ano to? Ano yung D1 natin? Ano yung D1 nyo? Is it 15 or is it 10?
15 po, sir.
15. Kasi from here, going here, this is 15. So 25 minus 10. So we have here 15 miles. Multiply it by what? 10 miles. Okay, all over 1.5. Multiply it by 4 over 3. So what you have here? Anyone? Anyone from the group?
75, sir.
Sino yung sumagot? Mr. Rimbert, am I right?
De Luna po.
De Luna, tama. Okay, so we have 75. What's the unit? Rimbert. Ay, De Luna, sorry. Bren. Bren? What's the unit, Bren? Mr. De Luna, what's the unit?
Sir, miles po. Ay, feet po.
Iyon. Kasi yun nga yung narinig ko kanina, miles. Kaya medyo hindi Okay, what is the Ilan na nga? Pakiulit?
75 feet po.
75 feet. So, this is in feet, ha? Tandaan nyo. Okay, now, are we good with that? So, you just have to multiply 15 miles to your 10 miles, and then the 1.5, multiply it the curve, K factor or K curve that you have, which is 4 over 3. So, next. Wait lang, may tumatawag sa akin. Excuse me, guys. Hello, ma'am. Hello po. Mamu. Mamu, sandali lang. Wait lang. I-off ko lang tong ng mga bata. Wait lang, wait. Excuse me, guys. Meron lang akong kausap. Kausapin ko lang si Ma'am Cathy. Sorry, let's go back to the presentation. Okay. Can you please check this one? Parang merong mali dito. Anyone who would like to check this one? Tama po ba? Calculator nga. Parang may mali akong na ano. I-check, paki-check nga po kung tama. Guys, nandyan pa ba kayong lahat? Check lang natin.
Tama po, sir.
Same din naman po, sir.
Okay. Sige, check natin. Wala kasi kung asan ba yung scientific calculator dito. Wait lang. O sige, yung susunod muna. Okay? Okay, so let's have the other one. Okay, so let's have here the other one.
Sir,
So,
yung 1.5K, ano po ba yun? 1,000?
1.5 lang yun, anak. Kasi yung K, ginagamit natin yung K as the K curve.
Po,
So,
tama na
oo.
po.
So, yun yung ano. Okay? So, sige, let's just check this out later. So, we have here at B, K is 2, 1/3, 1/2. So, let's have here as 15 miles, multiply it by the 10 miles that we have all over 1.5 times mo ng 1/2. So, what do you have here?
200, sir.
200?
200 feet po.
Yes po. Yes po, 200.
200 feet. Okay. So we have here a 200 feet. Okay. And lastly, we have K is equals to 5/2. So we have here 15 miles. Multiply it by 10 miles all over 1.5 times mo ng 5/2. And what do we have here?
40 po. 40.
40